When you're selling a big ticket item, you have a responsibility to make sure that you're telling the truth. When you take a look at cracked heat exchangers, it's one of the most underexplained and over-abused situations when it comes to a sales process. So what do you need to know about telling the truth, having a good conversation, and protecting your client? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Sylvan, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales, business, opportunities, and cracked heat exchangers, and a fantastic day to talk about you for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets. Across the board, there is the ability to talk about damage, problems, and issues inside of a system. And one of the most confusing for a lot of people is a heat exchanger. And there's a couple of reasons for it, because it brings out good in people and it also brings out bad. So number one on this list of 7, I got 7 things you need to know. Number one on this list is honesty, integrity. You got to tell the truth from the very beginning. You may work for a really good company, and all it takes is one person to go out there and do some shenanigans and do some silly things and ruin a 10-year-old, 20-year-old, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old reputation for a company, all to sell a furnace. And it doesn't have to be that way. Now, when I say tell the truth, there's also, you have to explain that when it comes to a crack in a heat exchanger, the manufacturers don't test for CO. They either say it's failed or it's not failed. And this is where a lot of people get upset, because they're like, I don't want to sell a part because there's no CO, there's no carbon monoxide. And if you read the manuals of any furnace in any warranty, it just comes down to the size of the crack and the location. And if you're going to tell the truth, you have to be truthful about this. You start making up rules and saying, hey, it's the amount of CO that comes out of this thing, it can create some problems for you. And you can validate this information really easily. You can go look at some manuals from furnaces and just look at what it takes to turn into a crack heat exchanger on a warranty. That I know of, as of today, there is not a manufacturer that says, what's the CO level? They just say, where is the crack? That's all that matters. That's all that counts. And so this truth is hard for people, because they're like, well, there's no CO and that person has the ability to not have any problems, until that's not true, right? You're looking at the situation the wrong way. And at this point, sometimes I lose people. They're like, hey, Scott, no, it's all about the carbon monoxide. It's all about the crack. And I got to be the person that tells you the truth. That's okay. Number 2 on this list comes right back to it. Get educated. Go to your own courses. Pay for your own classes. There's a couple of guys that travel around the country from heat exchanger experts. I've seen them probably 15 times. Been through their class literally 15 times. I actually wrote the quiz for them. Like, at one point they would give a quiz at the end. I don't know if they still do, but I wrote that quiz. Take a look. Read up on the information. Figure out what it takes. You may have to pay for yourself. But, when it comes down to it, you can find these things out. You could look through the manuals. You could go to coaching. You can go to training. And the people who are talking to you should know what they're talking about. Number 3, develop your message. This is going to come from talking, like I'm talking right now. It's going to come from pictures. Use pictures, and then what I'm going to share wisely, videos wisely. If you're going to use pictures and you're going to use video, just realize that content could be called into court. And please, for the love of everything, do the right thing and don't make stuff up, right? So one of the tenets that I taught was, if you were going to take picture and you were going to take video, you always put the invoice number or the job name or the date in the sequence of the videos or the pictures. Or if you're shooting the picture or shooting the video, you would say, today I'm at Bob Smith's house. It is December 10th, 2025. Today I'm at Bob Smith's house. It is January 17th, 2026. And what we're looking at is and then you're going to put the brand of furnace, and then you can spell out the model and serial number, and it takes away any oh, you're making this up. Which brings us to number 4, document. Document. Be willing to draw a picture on the invoice. Hey, here is where I noticed this problem. Be willing to attach a photo, photos. Be willing to attach, come on. We're in the day and age where you could put a Dropbox of video together pretty easily. Number 5, if there's question or there's doubt and you don't know and you're not certain, get a second opinion. Have somebody come out and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Do you see the same thing? I can think of a time I went to a guy's second opinion, and it was a very specific type of furnace that never, ever, ever had a crack in the primary tubes. And then we go up in the attic and he points in the very back and he's like, it's right there. And I'm like, that does not make sense. That does not make sense. So we pull the cover off the coil because it was a horizontal. And I reached back there and what it was a piece of RTV sealant. But, you go from wide heat exchangers to narrow and, getting the perfect angle with a flashlight and some mirrors, you could be wrong. And so went downstairs and the homeowner was upset and I'm like, what's going on? I said, hey, listen, you had a good company come out. Somebody else, I could see where they'd make a mistake. So when you're talking about your second opinions, be willing to understand what you need to say. Tell the truth. Don't make anything up, but make sure that you, number 6, stay even. Just remain really calm. There's a brand of furnace here in Sacramento that gets used a lot or was used a lot in a retirement community. And up north of here, there's, 7,000 of these houses in a retirement community. They all got the same exact furnace and they're all upflows in the garage. Well, they're all 90% furnaces. And if you take a mirror and you walk up to them and you put that mirror in the first, second, or third throat, you could see a crack. There was a time that I was accused of taking a screwdriver and scratching a heat exchanger and causing it to crack from a company. And as much as I really wanted to fight the guy in the driveway, I really wanted to pull the heat exchanger out and say, how did a screwdriver come all the way through this furnace, through this metal, from me just rubbing on it? Because it doesn't work that way. So stay even means that you're going to be called into question and have some conversations. If somebody goes to Google and types in heat exchanger, and like one of the first things that comes up is heat exchangers are a scam. That's why for the longest time, I still own it, crackedheatexchanger.com. I put out content, but I got tired of answering questions of, is my heat exchanger cracked or not? There was a period that I would probably get 5 or 10 questions a day. And I just really didn't want the liability or the issues that came from it. Number seven, be willing to go back. There's plenty of times where people would say, hey, you said there's a crack. I want you to meet another company here. I go, great. I want them to diagnose it first. And then, if they're going to pull it apart, I'm not putting it back together. They are. And so there's a couple of times that got to the house and the heat exchangers out of the furnace and they can't locate the crack. And sometimes it was on the rings or the eyelets. And sometimes the rings or the eyelets weren't even there. There was a house that I went to and the guy says, hey, these things aren't cracked. And well, there was a lip on the back side of the furnace. And what would happen is the rings would pop off. They would land in that lip. And so he's got the heat exchangers out. And it was a pretty easy heat exchanger to pull. And he's like, there's nothing wrong with this furnace. I go, where are the eyelets? And he said, well, what do you mean, where are the eyelets? I go, where are the eyelets? And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. So we looked at the heat exchanger from the side and you could see right into it. And I said, hold on a second. And I reach my hand up over under the shelf and I pull out all these eyelets. I go, these all popped off. And he goes, oh, yeah, I didn't see those. So sometimes, like when you're doing a cleaning and you pull the blower motor and you find a piece of metal, I don't know what that is, shipping parts, don't need it. Plenty of times technicians have thrown parts away. So you have to be willing to go back to have these conversations. But please, for the love of everything, do not make anything up. Do not use old pictures. Do not use old video. You will get caught at your worst moment. Honesty, integrity is going to be the best way to go. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, the heat exchanger should be the last. It should be the icing on the cake if somebody's going to get a new system or not. It shouldn't be the first thing. It shouldn't be the first thing in the order of operations. Go through the order of operations and explaining damage, and you're going to find that you have better results. The biggest mistake that technicians, I save this for last on purpose. The biggest mistake that technicians make is they lead off with a pile of damage. They lead off with the most expensive part. In all reality, damage should be explained in the order that the system works. And when you do that, you're typically going to find that people are like, all right, I need a new one. And then you go, but there's one more thing that I really got to go over with you. And then they go, what is it? And you explain it's a cracked heat exchanger. You're like, that was just it. That just pushed us over the edge. You don't have to lie. You don't have to cheat. You don't have to steal to make stuff up. Follow a plan. Follow a process, whether it's mine, somebody else's, but stick with rule number 1. Honesty, integrity is going to be the thing that gets you everywhere you need to go. You got one of 3 things to do from here. Just one of 3. Find the subscribe button. Click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.